What's up, guys? Chris with Croft CNC and CNC4Newbies here. Wanted to go live and show you guys some stuff I was doing. I uploaded a couple post processors today. That may help clear up some confusion that we have going on right now with what post processors to use in Vectric. These are for Vectric. These are not for any of the other ones out there. I'll open them up and I'll show you what I'm dealing with. Let's see here. We'll go to share. Okay. So I uploaded a couple of them. There's one of them here that I did not upload, but I use it because I have something coming out. We have Croft CNC, the oldest, most broken man in CNC. Very nice, very nice. That's from Facebook user. So some of our post processors will cross-platform into other machines. You know, the GRBL ones. The post processor will work for pretty much anything that is GRBL based. I do apologize right now. We have some people doing some work outside of our house. And if my dogs let loose in terms of barking and everything, I apologize to you guys. But like our GRBL VFD and our GRBL laser will all work with the Arduino Uno platform machines and controllers, such as the X controller, the Shapeoko controller. I don't know if it'll work with the new XCarve Pro, but it'll work with Millwright, I believe. So these are the GRBL post processors that I use. The base for those were the Demon post processors from Designs by Phil Johnson. What's up, Jerome? Jerome's the one that said that for us. Thank you, man. Phil Johnson made them originally for his Demon controller. And I took them, I reformatted them, and I did a little bit of addition to each of them. The GRBL laser profile post processor, I'm sorry, that came from Jay Johnson's JTech website. And I just redid the naming and I added some more information to the preamble before the header of the program. So those three are what I use for my GRBL based machines. And then for my UCCNC and my Mach 3 based machines, I use the CNC4Newbies UCCNC and the UCCNC ATC. The base for those post processors were the original Mach 2, Mach 3, or I guess it would be the updated Mach 2, Mach 3 post processors. And I renamed them. I changed some stuff in the preamble and kind of went from there. So it wasn't a huge change. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was actually where you can find your post processors in Vectric and how they work, especially with the new Vectric 11. A lot of people don't realize where that stuff is at. Vectric 11 in the operation application folder did not really change. Okay, it changed in the saving and the machine setup, but it really didn't change where it was at. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Okay. So if you go up here to File, Open Application Data, you're going to find another screen. Let's stop sharing that. Let's open share this. Okay, this is the Aspire Applications data folder. And right here is the post processors. Okay. Then right here are my listed post processors. So what I did first was I went into miscellaneous and I actually copy and pasted all of my post processors in. And you can see they're all CNC4Newbie labeled now. And then I also went into my post processors and listed them. Now, this covers both types of machines that I work with. I work with UCCNC and I work with the GRBL-based systems for CNC4Newbies. So all of that's taken care of. These are my listed post processors. And now we're going to go back to Vectric. Okay, so if you want to do a quick setup, I am going to just do a profile for this. And if you go to your machine setup, if you click on this, you can actually change your machine configuration. And as you'll see, I have 3 of them listed. Okay. And you can actually put in all the different stuff for that individual machine and run your Vectric for multiple machines. So in my case, I have my CNC4Newbies machines. I have my mill. I have my laser. I have my plasma cutter. So I have multiple machines set up for that and what post processors I'm going to use for that. So basically you just fill in everything. This is my C4N new car 4545, manufacturer is CNC4Newbies. The model is new car 4545. The controller is a Demon controller. The width is 51 inches. The height is 52 inches. And then my post processors are here. Okay. So whenever I put those post processors into my application folder, I could also go this route and add them to my Vectric. So I just click here. I click on this install post processor, and then I find the post processor that I want. In my case, it would be CNC4Newbies. And then I do a shift select. So I select, hit shift and select the bottom one, and I can copy all of those over into my directory here. And then I can select each one that I want to select for that machine. So I'll select them, I'll close it, and they'll show up once you restart this window. So make sure that when you put these post processors in, you click apply. If you want to delete a post processor, you highlight it by left clicking and you hit the trash can, and it'll actually remove that post processor from your list for you. So this typically comes with G-code. I think it's just G-code, or maybe it's GRBL listed as the primary default. You can delete all of those just by selecting each one and hitting the trash can. Once you load your post processor in that you want, you just click apply and OK. And you do that for each one of your machines. For this one, you can see I have UCCNC loaded. For this machine, You can see I have UCCNC, I have GRBL laser, and I have GRBL VFD. Now, one that I don't have in here that I want in here, I have CNC4Newbies UCCNC. This is for my rack and pinion machine. And my rack and pinion machine has something that you guys don't have yet. I have an automatic tool changer. So if I click this and I click open, I go to quick files, post processors, CNC4Newbies, UCCNC, ATC. Open. Would I like this to be my default post processor? No. And then I can select it. And now I have an ATC. I can make that my default, apply, okay. Now I can actually select that post processor. Okay. So it's really that simple as to making a post processor or loading a post processor. And then if I save this as a UCCNC post processed file, if I go to desktop profile 1, it's saved. I don't want to save changes. And if I open this, you can see the actual file that was created. It is a file name of UCCNC example. The file was created today at around lunchtime. This was created for the UCCNC controller for CNC4Newbies. And the material size of the block of wood it was created for was a 10 by 10 by ½ inch piece of wood. Then there are a couple notes here. The tool paths in this file are the profile 1. The tools used is a 1/4 inch 2-flute end mill for hardwood. And then it goes into the header for the actual G-code file. Okay. And likewise, I did the same thing for a GRBL. Let's see here. If I post-process the GRBL file, you'll see it's this is just called the VFD file. It was created at lunchtime. It's for GRBL controller for CNC4Newbies. The material size is 10 by 10 by ½ The tool is used, and then it gives the header for the G code. Okay. So those are for router-based setups. Now the laser one is a little bit different. It's the same G code generation. It has a very similar look as the other ones in terms of this was the laser tool file. It was created at lunchtime for GRBL laser controller for CNC4Newbies. Material size is 10 by 10 by ½ The tool used is a 1/4 inch end mill. I would have changed that to a laser. Then it goes into the preamble. But the one thing that changes is this M03S0. Then you'll notice there are no Z movements in this, and there is an S value attached to every line. And that sets the power of the laser. And once again, I didn't set up a laser tool to generate the G code. I didn't choose a laser tool. I just used the laser post processor so you could see it. But you guys can actually see the preamble and the header, and I can actually go to the footer and show you what the footer does for the post processor. So a lot of people are getting a no stop on their spindle for Mach 3. That's because whenever you do a post processor, you're going to have a M05 at the end that this does not have. So I want to add an M05. Let me pull up my post processor file. So I'm actually in my post processor file. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to share again. And I'm going to open up this post processor file. Now, here's all the post processor stuff. I don't want that in there. I just want it to say CNC for Newbies. And then I need to go all the way down to this command output at end of file, begin footer. This is where the end of file system takes place. So in order to redo this, all I have to do is go parentheses. Where's my bracket? Nope. Trying to find my brackets again. I always lose them on this keyboard because it's different than my other one. There's that one. N is just a line number. And then I'm going to write in an M05. And then I'm going to close parentheses. That is a post processor language for the, let's see here. Hold on one second. There, I'll hide that for you. Now you can see it. Now, this is the line that I added to the post processor. And I'll go up here and I'll hit File Save. Okay, so now that's actually saved as part of the post processor. Same thing here. We'll go in. I don't want the text there. This is my ATC one. We'll scroll down to the bottom. Notice there's no information there. I'm going to do my bracket. I'm going to do a capital N for number line, bracket, capital M05, parentheses. Okay. And save. Okay. There's that. Now we'll go into this one. That's saved as a G code, file extension G code. I may want to save that as a TXT. And this I might not save at all. There's my M5. And there's my M30. So I'll go to save. I may want to put TXT at the end of this. There's an M03S0, M05. So what this does is it makes sure that it takes your PWM down to 0, and then it shuts off the laser. And then it has a G0 M30, and then it has a go to home. So that setup is a little bit different than the way that I would do it, but that's the way that Jay Johnson wrote it. That's how he wants it. Let's see, same thing here. This is G code, and I might want to write that as TXT. And we have a G0 ZH M5 G0 M30, and I'll save. Okay, so if I open this, there's that, and there's that. Okay, all of my post processors are now set so that if I go into any of these, I have the same kind of base going on. And if I open up my Aspire 11, let's stop this. Let's share screen. And I go here. I'm going to open up this, and that will bring up this window. And I'm going to go into the post processor, miscellaneous, and then I will have to drag in my new post processors, or knowing what I know and how I want to do it, I can actually rename and change these so that they don't show up in my Aspire. So now this is what is popped up in my post processor. Okay. And you can see that it's a Mach 2.3 Vectric machine output configuration file. These are all the fixes and everything. This is the post name. And then this will be all of the header information. This stuff is preamble stuff. This is actual header information. So now we'll go down. It doesn't have that information. Really digging the camera angle. This is actually at my desktop, the one that I used to have in the old shop and that I did coffee and cuts on in Pennsylvania. It's all set up here now. So now I need to do a couple window tricks here. Okay. Now, if I share screen, okay. So you guys kind of have an infinite loop thing going on there, but I have, this is the Vectric Post Processor folder. So I'm going to select this one, hit the Shift key, select this one. I'm going to drag them all over. I'm going to replace. And before I do that, I'll make sure that I get a copy of them back in mind. There's that. Now, I'll open up my Aspire. I'll open up applications data. And I'll paste those same ones in there. Replace files and destination. I'll close Aspire. I'll close that. I'll open up Aspire again. Now, if I go over here, I have to look at those. Okay. For my 3636. And that's already my default. And you could see it say make default, open file location or remove. I don't need to do any of that. I'll click OK. And I'm going to, okay, this missing CNC4Newbie UCCNC ATC asterisk dot txt. I'll remove that. I'll apply. Now I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add, select, apply, okay. Now I have both of those. So now I have all the post processors loaded into each of the machines that I want them loaded into. And at this point, I can close. Let's draw something and generate some G code. So we'll just go down, we'll calculate, we'll close. Let's say we're going to do this on the Pro Series, and I'll use the UCCNC without the automatic tool changer. I'll save that, and we'll put that as profile text 1. And now let's look at what profile text 1 says. So profile text 1 says profile. It was created at 514 for UCCNC from CNC4Newbies, 10 by 10 by half, uses profile 1, and the tool is a 0.25. Then in the footer, it has an M09, and it has an M05, and then an M30. Okay, so now we have the M05 to shut the spindle down. Is that needed? No. UCCNC takes care of that whenever the program is done. You'll see there are different S and F numbers. Those are all for the spindle and the feed rate. So the M30 just rewinds it to the beginning. So that's that. Let's generate this for that one. And we want it with the VFD. Let's save it as profile 22. Okay. Now this one was created for GRBL. Same. Now we have our preamble. G17 means that it's flat XY and the Z is moving in and out. G20 is inches. G90 is absolute value. So all of the measurements are based off of your 0 point. You go down, there's a bunch of G movements, and then you have an M5. It rapids to G0, and then it creates an M3. So all of that looks really good so far. G0, so it rapids up to 0.7, then it rapids up to 1.3, and I'm not quite sure why it does that. So let's look at this part of it and we'll find out why. All right, so it's 0.8, 0.2, 0.2, gap above. Okay. Now we'll go into application data. Let's see here if we have anything in particular. It goes to a Z height. Okay. All right. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. And then I believe that this is based on machine bed. So that's why. So it actually lifts up to the machine bed height clearance. So if I do material surface, it'll actually change that. And then we would have to regenerate the G code. We regenerate the G code. Now you guys saw what was there. And there we go. Now it goes to 0.2 and it goes to 0.8 because we changed where we actually zero off of. So everything seems to be working. The only thing you would have to do is actually you would have to run it through the system to make sure that it works and go from there. Use these at your own risk. I use them. My machine is set up. I know my machine inside and out and go from there. Okay. That was a big one. I hope you guys enjoyed the live and I'll holler at you later.